The Realm. Do you know what the Realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 8 video. Alright, my friends, in this video, I want to look back at one of the most infamous episodes in television history. This is the episode known as The Long Night, when the Night King and his army arrived in Winterfell for the final showdown. Now, as you all know, there were a lot of different things that happened in this episode that made some fans very happy, but there were also a lot of things that made a lot of fans very angry. As a matter of fact, you can still find some of us debating these things several years after the episode originally aired. Now, what I will be focusing on in this video is the scene in which Jon Snow faced off against Viserion. I'm assuming most of you remember this scene very well. It's when Jon was running after the Night King in hopes of stopping him from reaching the Godswood where Bran Stark was waiting. Unfortunately, Jon never makes it to the Godswood before the Night King gets there because Viserion lands right in front of him, stopping him from moving any further. Now, Jon did make several attempts at getting around him, but as we all know, nothing worked. The dragon would not budge. This eventually leads to Jon Snow standing up, looking him in the eyes, then screaming in his face. There has been a big debate about this scene ever since. There were a lot of fans who actually thought Jon Snow did that because he wanted to distract Viserion so Arya could make it to the Godswood to get the Night King herself. Those same fans thought Jon was screaming at Arya to run, but that's not what happened. Then there were some other fans who said Jon did this because he actually thought this would help do something to the dragon. As if Jon actually thought that screaming at the dragon would hurt it in some way. Now, I don't know about you, but that might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I wish I was making it up, but there were a large number of fans who really thought that. I actually think I have the right answer. The reason why I want to share this is because I still see fans discussing this scene in some of the Facebook groups. I haven't seen anyone else look at this scene the same way that I do. Now, normally I would not say something like this, but in this case, I believe almost everyone is looking at this scene the wrong way. Now, let me explain why I think Jon Snow screamed in Viserion's face. The first thing we need to do is go back and look at where this scene actually started. What really set this in motion is when Jon and the Night King had their final face-to-face meeting. If you remember, this was right after Daenerys set the Night King on fire with Drogon. After Daenerys realized it did not work, the Night King grabbed another spear, then Daenerys flew off, leaving Jon Snow there to face the Night King. Unfortunately, we did not see them fight 1 versus 1. This is when the Night King did what he always does. He lifted his arms, raising the dead all around Jon. As soon as Jon was surrounded, the Night King walked off, heading directly for the Godswood. Now, in that moment, Jon knew he was screwed. Not only was he now surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands of whites, but the Night King essentially had a direct line for the Godswood. Jon knew that he had to work as fast as he could if he was going to save everyone. He knew he could not allow the Night King to get to the Godswood before he did. That was when the desperation really set in, because he could see the Night King heading that way. He knew the Night King would be in the Godswood in the matter of moments. Now, luckily for Jon, Dany did not go far. She doubled back and burned a lot of the whites who were stopping Jon from moving forward. As soon as she did that, Jon looked at her and yelled Bran. Then Dany yelled go, because she also knew that the Night King was heading that way fast. As Jon makes his way through Winterfell fighting off the dead one by one, this is where we really saw how desperate he was. This is when Jon finally made it inside Winterfell's courtyard, leaving him only about 100 yards away from the Night King and ultimately Bran. All Jon had to do now was make it to the other side. He knew the Night King already had a good head start, but that wasn't the biggest issue in that moment. Jon also knew that the Night King would not be getting slowed down like he was, because the whites were obviously all on the Night King's side. That only left Jon with minutes, or maybe even only seconds, to make it through all of the madness before the Night King reached Bran. Jon knew for every second he was slowed down, that was another second closer the Night King was to finishing his mission. Now, as Jon made his way across Winterfell, he saw his best friend Samwell being overran by all the whites. He could see that Sam was about to die, but he knew that he could not stop for even 1 second to help his friend. Jon knew in that moment he might have to sacrifice everyone in that courtyard if it meant stopping the Night King before he got Bran. Every one of the main characters who were there were fighting off several wights during that scene. It looked as if all was about to be lost. Jaime Lannister was about to die, Gendry and Brienne was about to die, even Daenerys, who was now no longer on her dragon, was about to die alongside Jorah Mormont. In that moment, it seemed as if Jon was the only hope. After all, he was the only one that was moving forward, right on the heels of the Night King. However, if he doesn't make it across that courtyard, everyone he knew and loved would be dead. All of that was running through Jon's mind in that scene. This is why he was fighting with every ounce of energy he had. He would stop at nothing, and right when it looked like he was about to make it, one of the final bosses lands directly in front of him. Viserion was not about to let him make another step further. That's when Jon knew, if he doesn't get around that damn dragon right away, it's game over. Now, Jon did make several attempts at sneaking around Viserion, but the dragon doesn't let him go. Jon had to fall back over and over again. This is when it starts to sink in with Jon. He's not going to make it, and as a matter of fact, he knows the Night King is most likely already there. He did have a head start after all, and Jon has now been held down by that dragon for far too long. I mean, look at Jon in that moment. He's bleeding all over his body. He has been weakened by all of the fighting. He was absolutely exhausted, and he now realizes he cannot and will not make it around the damn dragon. Even though he can see the finish line right on the other side of the dragon, he knows he's never going to get there. The Night King has most likely made it to the Godswood already, and not only that, but Jon might even be thinking Bran is already dead. This is when Jon accepts his fate. This is when he stands up and screams in Viserion's face. Now, this is when a lot of fans thought, why would Jon do that? How would that help him get to the Night King any faster? It doesn't make any sense. Well, my friends, that is the look of defeat. When Jon stands up and screams in the face of the dragon, that is him letting out all of his frustration. He is letting out all of his anger. All of that pain and exhaustion. All of those years everyone looked down on him because he was a bastard. He is thinking about everything that has happened to him and his family. He's thinking about all of the years he served in the Night's Watch. All of that work he did to band everyone together to fight in this moment. All of those sacrifices he made to hopefully save the realm. I mean, he already died once because he was trying to help everyone win this inevitable battle against the Night King. And after all of that, it would still not be enough in the end. He was only a few feet away, but after everything he had done to ensure they would be successful in that moment, it unfortunately was not enough. I see that scene as an emotional breakdown. Jon knew it was over, but if he was about to die, then he would die standing on his feet. Now, although I really wished it was Jon who fought the Night King in the end, I still thought this was a great moment, if you look at it the way that I do. Let me know what you think about this scene. Do you agree with me, or do you think something else was happening here? Leave me all of your thoughts down below. I would love to see what you have to say. As always, I want to thank everyone for watching the video. I hope you all have a great day. I will see you in the next one. Bye.